My supreme namaskarams to all of you. My name is Neral Amalyadra. I have been practicing as an advocate of Honorable Supreme Court and also the High Courts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana after my voluntary retirement as a district judge. This is part 2 of the talk regarding arrest of journalists and others and languishing of many of the people who are trying to protect the rights of the individual citizens. Due to technical snag, the part 1 is limited to some extent, some interesting aspects. Now let us further continue the this thing. See, unless we have a strong opposition which is attacking the party in power and correcting the mistakes committed by them, then what will happen? They will enroll into the rights and works of several institutions in this country, including the judiciary. So why can't the political system, the party in power, appoint all the judges posts and allow them to discharge their duties without any difficulty in discharging their duties and without any delay in order to protect the rights of the people? If you have got number of judges, number of courts, then it's easy for the judges to work and dispose of the cases. That's one thing. Apart from that, let us there be use of more technical and scientific systems and gadgets as freely as now they are using in a more number of ways and means. We can have separate fund for it. The political system must come forward by keeping in view the history of our country and the principle that unless and until human rights are protected, we can't achieve the goals which we have planned for the citizens of this country. It is very painful when we come to know that the selective application of fundamental principles to particular individuals. Take the Arnab's case. What's happening? Is it a case related to Arnab's profession as a journalism? Definitely not. When look into the party facts in it, definitely we can say that the case is registered not in connected with the journalism of him, but the case is used against Arnab in view of his profession as a journalism and supporting party in power for some time, and now the party in power in some other status, rather at national level. So there is a system where we can say that if the party in power wants to ruin the life and demolish the fundamental rights of an individual, irrespective of his caste, creed, and the work he is doing, it can be done. But the courts have to protect. It is the fundamental duty of the courts, sovereign duty. That is the prime duty. That's why it is kept there in the fundamental rights chapter. See, what is happening is the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Venkatachalaya, when he sworn in his office in February 93, he has said something. And the Honorable Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao said that he looked forward to a cordial relation between the court and the government. See, he received a riposte which can only be described as a classical. My Prime Minister, the relationship between us has to be correct, not cordial. Cordiality between court and government has no place in our constitutional schemes of checks and balances. Likewise, another Chief Justice has also stated, can be said as Bhishma Pitamaha, be going through when he surveys the present court and notes that there is not one decision in recent past where the court has held against the executive. So what I am saying is, Chief Justice of India, ex Mr. M.N. Venkatachalaya, said at the age of 92 by stating that there is not one decision in the recent past where the court has held against the executive. So this is unfortunate. This is really unfortunate, of course. But at the same time, what I say is, the courts can have some solution, practical solution for all this. We can also think of some other views in this regard. Why can't the Honorable Supreme Court extend the fair hearing of all the bail applications, including that of Jammu Kashmir citizens, residents, Varvar Rao, or at least health suffering people? We can take up the names also. Sudha Bharadwaj, aged 59, civil liberties defender, suffering from hypertension, heart disease, diabetes. He has been incarcerated from August 2018. To Siddiqui Kappan, the journalist from Kerala, detained on his way to Hathras in October this year. What about Stan Swami, activist, aged 83, suffering abdominal pain and multiple falls in jail? He is unable to hold a glass because of Parkinson's disease. His plea to use slipper or straw in jail has been adjourned by 3 weeks to November 26th. Let their cases to be posted emergently before the benches in the Honorable Supreme Court, who have given liberties or disposed bail applications of Mr. Goswami. Let them be judged in accordance with law. Let there be a path of constitutional purity in order to do justice to one and all, especially the protectors of the human rights, so as to enable them to protect the human rights. Like how in COVID-19, when it comes, vaccine is giving to the protectors of health system. For the journalist, there must be a special provision for disposing of their cases speedily. Rather, in a famous case in Himachal Pradesh court, the lawyer who is arguing on behalf of the accused suggested that when a case of journalist comes, police shall not be allowed to arrest them unless and until a committee consisting of senior journalists and some important dignitaries permit them to be arrested. This can be done. What is problem? Or at least till such screening is completed swiftly, that person must be allowed to stay in his house with a restriction when a case is filed of serious nature. I think so. It's better. Let us see some more things. If you give favorable treatment to one person and unfavorable treatment to another person, it is violating fundamental rights and equality before law and equal subjection of all classes. Then what will happen? The executive will play a sound and big role in order to sound the death knell for the republic. We can consider the plight of activities in the news. If a journalist who is very active in the news and if he is supporting the party in power, then you don't look into the personal life of him and also his professional life of him, and any cases if come forward against them for various reasons, you don't consider them at all. If they are working for protecting the human rights and in turn affecting the rights of or the functions of or rights or functions or duties or self and further interests of the persons who are otherwise party in power, whether they are elected persons or otherwise also, then you will file number of cases, even treason case also. What is it? I came to know 70% of prisoners in India are under trials, and that the overcrowded state of prisons is also documented by some famous persons. The fourth estate is key to the functioning of democracy, but is it performing its duties? It is again another concept. Did the judiciary act because some person like Arnab has become famous and known to one and all, and then become can you say that he is privileged? His case has to be decided at first? Definitely not, but it is happening. The important pillar in the framework of governance is judiciary. Mostly all judges, not only in the Supreme Court, but also in the high courts and the trial courts and many other courts, because the job is entrusted to them to protect the interest of particularly human rights of each individual for the development of this country and becoming one strong country in the entire world. It is weakening and ceasing to be a check to a powerful executive. The persons who are working in unlawful activities and ought to be behind bars and must be arrested very seriously and easily and swiftly. They are freely moving in the society, giving a face to society. Yeah, a criminal can be protected in this system and an illegal person can be scot-free, and the legal and honest persons who are trying and rather working to protect the interests of public and the protecting the human rights can be taken to task. See, I don't want to say that while discharging the duties by the judges of Supreme Court and High Court and other courts, they not aware about the value of the freedoms. They know very well which cases have to be decided at first. Why can't every day, before doing regular work, first dispose of the bail applications on that day? If the matter has to be urgent it for 1 day or 2 days, but not 1 week. Let this be a principle. So the courts are aware about the value of the bail applications, and the advocates definitely stand by your judge's side. They will say, we'll not find fault with the court if the courts take up those bail applications swiftly and speedily within 1 or 2 days. The top court, under the guard of citing relief of personal liberty, it could open the floodgates to exonerate the Supreme Court if it takes up one case and doesn't do or take up the other cases, like what happened in Pranab's case. Perhaps lawyers ought to convey their misgiving to the judges concerned in private. They don't want to tell publicly. So, what I am trying to project is, there should be a political will of creating more number of courts and appointing judges as and when the posts are vacant, and also the other system for run, like clerical works and all that. Then once the political will is there, then the judicial heads, that is Supreme Court Chief Justice and other judges, and High Court and other High Court judges, Chief Justice and others, all of them in one voice must take up a cause of protecting the human rights and becoming leaders for developing this country to achieve the welfare state and goals. Then this country will develop and become number one in the entire world. This is what I would like to speak to you. Thank you very much. Please subscribe my channel because you liked it, and also request your friends to subscribe the same.